Hey, what's up guys? Ricky Carruth here, Remax of Orange Beach. Coming to you again from my studio in my house. Today, I want to discuss negotiating deals, right? And so, as real estate agents, we have a fiduciary duty to our clients to look out for their best interest at all times, okay? So, this could go for if you represent a buyer or a seller, okay? Either way it goes, whoever we're representing has to be represented to the highest form possible, unless we're representing them as a transaction broker, all the different forms of agency out there. But today I want to discuss single agent, the highest form of representation that there is by law. So as we're negotiating deals, there's a couple of things. One, we want to absolutely not high pressure anything, okay? So rule number one is you cannot high pressure anybody into doing something that they don't want to do, okay? So I think this is like by far the most important idea behind negotiating, and that is you always want to do what your client wants to do, even if that's to turn the deal down, even if that's to counter back at some crazy high price that you feel is just ridiculous. Here's the thing, it's not your property, right? They have the right to counter back or to turn that offer down, or whatever the case may be. It's your job to provide them with all the market information, right? And to give your 2 cents, consult them. But at the end of the day, after they've seen all that and they know what you suggest to do, it is up to them to decide exactly how they want to handle the situation. So we're not going to high pressure. We're going to represent them exactly the way they want to be represented. Okay, so when you get an offer, if it's your listing, when you get an offer, we're going to present that offer as quickly as we can to the seller. Okay, the seller, is going to get the offer. He's going to look at it. He's going to say, "What do you think?" Okay, so you're going to say, "Well, based on all this market information right here, this is what I would suggest to do." Okay, you let me know what you want to do, but this is what I would do. Okay, so very important to make sure that they understand that the ball is totally in their court. The decision is totally up to them. Right? This is going to help you long term. This is going to help you as far as relationship goes. This is what you have to understand when you're negotiating deals, is that this is not the only deal you're going to negotiate for this person in your life if you represent them right. Okay? But on the other hand, if they get the feeling that you're trying to high pressure them in any way, or trying to, leave out pertinent market information that they need to know, if you're trying to hide certain sales from them, so that they don't, so that they might sell the property for a better price, something like that. If they get a downwind of any of that, if they even think an inkling of them thinks that you're trying to pull something like that, then they will not only pull that deal from you, but they'll never use you ever again. They'll never refer you to anyone, and they may even give you a bad review. Okay, so all things you want to avoid. So when you're negotiating, you can't seem desperate, okay? You need to allow the process to take care of itself. I'm a huge believer that if this buyer really wants this property and this seller really wants to sell this property, that a deal is going to be made. Okay, a lot of things that I hear when I'm negotiating deals, one thing I hear a lot on just about every single deal is this is where we're firm, right? We're at $315,000 firm. Okay, next thing you know, the buyer offers $312,500 and the seller takes it. Okay, it doesn't happen every time, or $314,000, $313,500, even $310,000. I mean, if I were really to get, honest about all the deals that's happened, in my career, I mean, I've had them where they said that they were firm at 700 and ended up taking 595. So, here's the bottom line. No one knows what their client is going to do. So when you're dealing with an agent, they're a third party. When that agent comes to you and says, hey, this is what they're going to, this is what I think they'll do, or this is what, don't listen to any of that. They have no idea what that client is going to do. Here's the scary part. The client doesn't even know what they're going to do. Until someone is offered a price, until someone is in that situation at that given time, they don't even know what they'll do. They don't know what they'll take. They don't know what they'll pay for it. So it's definitely ridiculous for an agent to try to predict what their client's going to do. I don't listen to any of that. If I'm representing a buyer and I make an offer for a client on a listing, I've had agents try to tell me, that this offer is way low, or that, I don't know how much further they're going to come down. Well, they don't know if the seller will come down at all. And furthermore, they don't know if they did come down, how far they would come down. I mean, it's ridiculous to sit here and try to predict what someone's going to do when they themselves don't even know what they're going to do. Every day is a new day. People wake up on different sides of the bed, and, today's different than yesterday. Yesterday you might have said, I don't really need to sell this property. Today you wake up and you decide, I'm tired of this property. I'm ready to sell. I'll sell it for way less than what I was thinking, just to get rid of it. I'm ready to move on and do something different, right? Then they wake up the next day and they say, you know what? I actually like that property. I don't have to sell it. What was I thinking yesterday? I'm going to keep it. See how far the pendulum can swing day to day, and really minute to minute, hour to hour. People change their minds. So what you have to do is kind of take price out of the equation. Don't get too emotional about that they're going to take this, they're going to take that. Let the process take care of itself, because if a buyer wants to buy and a seller wants to sell, okay, the deal is going to happen. You can't worry about if it's going to work out. Now, it's the same thing when you're negotiating your commission, which I'll do a video on at some point. But, if you feel like a seller, only wants to pay 5%, and you're trying to get 6%, don't come down so quick, right? Because it's not about the commission, okay? It's about the fact, do these people want to sell, right? Do these people want to buy, okay? When they try you at 5%, say, hey, 5%, that's just them trying to fill you out to see if you'll do it, see how quickly you'll do it, see how quickly you'll cave in, right? So it's the same thing when you're negotiating deals, for buyers and sellers. Don't cave in so quick. Don't count yourself out so quick, right? Stay in the game, keep it going, right? Push it as far as it can go, right? And make it happen. I'm notorious for just making deals happen. And I'll admit, I've paid a lot out of my commissions to make deals happen. I've paid for inspection stuff. I've come off my commission during the negotiations, so on and so forth. But that is not before I took it as far as it could go and everybody was going to walk away, or at least in my mind they were going to walk away. Chances are maybe they weren't going to walk away and they just played me. But at the same time, that's okay with me, because I'm making the deal happen. And when people know that you did all you could do to make it happen, they're going to come back to you time and time and time again. So the commissions I've thrown in over the years, to me, have been more of an investment in my clients to let them know that I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make it work for you. So I think at the end of the day, not worrying about if the deal's going to work out. Concentrate more on where your next deal's coming from. Do everything you can do to make the deal work. and take price out of the equation. Price doesn't really mean much when you have a buyer that really wants to buy and a seller that really wants to sell. If you have a buyer that really wants to buy and a seller that doesn't really want to sell, the buyer's probably going to pay more, and vice versa. The buyer doesn't really want to buy, but the seller really wants to sell, then you may get a better price for the buyer. So it's all predicated on people's motivations and how they feel that day, what side of the bed they woke up on, and what you're willing to do to put the deal together. So get out there, negotiate deals hard. Don't crumble so quickly, right? Be a statue. Do what's right for your client. Make sure that they are fully represented by you the way they want to be, so that you can ensure the rest of your life full of business with that client time and time again. So hope this helped you with some of your mindset issues on negotiating deals and commissions. Like I said, I'll do another video on negotiating commissions at a later date. Click subscribe below, and if you guys need anything, let me know. That's what I'm here for.